Hello everyone, welcome to the course Inside Chinese Culture. Ancient China was in frequent wars of unification and defense of the territories. Warfare was developed on a sophisticated level to meet these demands. In this session, we will talk about ancient Chinese advance in warfare and focus on three inventions: the stirrup, gunpowder and its use, as well as crossbow, followed by a comparison between East and West. Let's first look at the stirrup. Stirrup is a loop or ring usually made of metal, suspended from the saddle of a horse to support the rider's foot. For most of the time that man has been riding horses, he has had no supports for his feet. Stirrups were unknown to most of the great armies of ancient times: the Persians, the Romans, the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Greeks. The horsemen of Alexander the Great made their way across the whole of Central Asia without being able to rest their feet while in the saddle. When galloping or jumping, horsemen had to hold the horse's mane tightly to avoid falling off. The Romans devised a kind of handhold on the front of the saddle, which gave them something of a grip, but their legs just dangled. Mounting a horse without stirrups was not so easy either. By about the 3rd century AD, ancient Chinese had remedied the situation and began to produce cast bronze or iron foot stirrup. The inventor of the stirrup was not recorded, and the original idea probably came from the use of a loop of rope to assist in mounting. From the 3rd century, ancient Chinese were casting perfect metal stirrups. Then stirrups quickly made their way to Korea, went westward, and then spread to the rest of Europe. With stirrups, an important advantage is gained in mounted warfare. Apart from that, many weapons that we know today were invented by the ancient Chinese. Of course, these inventions were relatively crude compared to their modern high-tech versions, but they were effective by then. We will come to gunpowder and its use. The basic of these inventions was the gunpowder, which was made by mixing and heating saltpeter, sulfur, and charcoal. Gunpowder logically paved the way to the inventions of bombs, fire arrows, rockets, flamethrowers, and so on. Inventions of firearms and cannons followed. Of course, flares and fireworks were also invented by the Chinese. Chinese alchemists knew saltpeter as early as 492, when it was mixed with sulfur for medicine. By 900, these alchemists, in search of immortality, accidentally invented gunpowder. In 1044, Zheng Gongliang edited the collection of the most important military techniques, which describe the formulation of gunpowder. Fire arrows. The world's first fire arrows were invented by the Chinese in 1150. The Chinese got the idea of tying a tube filled with gunpowder and fuse near the tip of an arrow. Then the fuse was ignited and the arrow was shot as usual towards the enemy. Later, the fire arrows were launched by gunpowder with a range of up to 1,000 feet. Flamethrowers. Around 919, fire-throwing machine was invented. It had piston bellows to pump a gasoline-like substance out of a single cylinder. A continuous stream of flame is produced, lit by a slow-burning gunpowder match, which indicated the first use of gunpowder in warfare by the Chinese. By 1044, the flamethrower was standard issue to Chinese armies. Drawing of a flamethrower with design details was given in Collection of the Most Important Military Techniques. This is a picture of flamethrower in action. Flares. Ancient Chinese invented flares, which were also called signal bombs. These were soft-shelled bombs timed to explode in mid-air, colored like fireworks. In 1276, flares were fired to send messages to distant troop detachment. Gunpowder is considered as one of the greatest inventions in China. The use of gunpowder in weapons provided countries with the opportunity to defend themselves against invasion. We now look at the crossbows. The invention of the crossbow revolutionized the warfare, and the technology spread from China through the Middle East and into Europe by the medieval period. The earliest textual evidence of the crossbow is Master Sun's Art of War, which dates back to at least 345 BC. For more than 2 millennia, the crossbow was the standard weapon of Chinese armies. The crossbow was developed and widely used in China by 200 BC, and it changed warfare forever. Crossbows with precise trigger mechanism were unearthed with the terracotta army of a 2nd century BC tomb. The three moving part mechanism was made of bronze and was very precise. However, it was not so easy to load the bolts. Then the repeating crossbow was invented. The first known repeating crossbow was discovered in the 4th century BC tomb in Qinjiazui, Hubei province. Repeating crossbows called zhuge nu could shoot multiple bolts before needing to be reloaded. This invention was traditionally attributed to Zhuge Liang, but the discovery of the Qinjiazui repeating crossbow from 500 years before Zhuge's lifetime proves that he was not the original inventor. However, it seems likely that he significantly improved the design. Later, crossbows could fire as many as 10 bolts in 15 seconds before being reloaded. Okay, coming next is East meets West. Just now we mentioned terracotta, so this time we will focus on two important tombs in the world: Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb and King Tut's tomb. The terracotta army was discovered near the city Xi'an in the Shanxi province in 1974 when villagers were drilling a well. Later, archaeologists found chambers with thousands of life-size ancient terracotta warriors equipped with ancient weapons. The terracotta warriors became an immediate sensation. Their discovery was one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century. Only the discovery of King Tut's tomb in 1922 created similar excitement. Around 210 BC, the terracotta warriors were constructed to accompany the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, into the afterlife. Much like the Egyptians, Greeks, and many other ancient cultures, they believed that burying grave goods along with the dead would help them in their afterlife. Currently, it is estimated that over 8,000 warriors were located in 3 massive chambers. The terracotta warriors were arrayed in battle formation and equipped with arms and armor they would have used in battle. Today, the terracotta warriors are one of the most impressive and valuable archaeological sites in China. The warriors are amazing in their artistic representation and in the massive effort required to create them. Most of the warriors, together with the grave of the emperor, remain unearthed, their secrets sealed for future archaeologists to discover. King Tut was an Egyptian pharaoh famed for his luxurious tomb discovered intact in 1922 with his mask and mummy. As the 12th pharaoh of the 18th Egyptian dynasty, he was in power from approximately 1332 to 1323 BC. After his death at age 19, King Tut disappeared from history until the discovery of his tomb in 1922. Since then, studies of his tomb and remains have revealed much information about his life and times, making Tutankhamun one of the best-known ancient Egyptian kings. Inside one of the chambers, murals were painted on the walls that told the story of Tut's funeral and his journey to the afterworld. Also, in the room were various artifacts for his journey: oils, perfumes, toys from his childhood, precious jewelry, and statues of gold and ebony. For 17 years, the four-room tomb were carefully excavated, uncovering an incredible collection of thousands of priceless objects. Okay, from this unit, we have a glimpse of the advance in ancient Chinese technology in terms of engineering, agriculture, and warfare. These are just some of the technological achievements of ancient China. There were also major early developments in mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and literature. With this course, you will find more about the glory of our culture. See you next time.